So, hi everyone, welcome if you're new. My name is Claire, not Crystal, easily misunderstood by the name and all that. Just like to make that clear from the get-go. This channel is for twin flames, empowering your inner divine feminine and your inner divine masculine, and however else that is going to help you in your life, which should be perfectly obvious. Again, it is all about empowering yourself, and that empowers your twin flame connection as well. Right, so to be honest, I really don't feel like doing a live stream. I mean, I'm in my jammies, so which is absolutely fine. Those of you that know me well, if you're new, get used to sometimes seeing me in my jammies. I haven't done it in a while, mind you, but yeah, when it's like I need to have a bit of fire, I need to have a bit of upbeat energy, and Cancer, Sun, Water, Scorpio, Moon, deep waters, not feeling it, guys. I was considering, I was like, I could do a live stream and just let people know that, and just, it's just going to be a wee bit more psychic detective shaman kind of vibe. I mean, obviously, I'm always in that mode because of the amount of Scorpio in my chart, but um, yeah, it's just I'm not feeling it. You know what I mean? So but I do feel up to doing a recorded video. So my plan is that I'm going to do this just now, and I'm going to. So if you're new to me, everything I do is channeling. So it might seem like I'm having a wee chat right now. Everything I say is going to have something to do with other people. So again, anything that I've said so far, might be this is obviously going to be where other people are feeling. Obviously, not everyone, but. And like say with myself, it's not so much that I'm not feeling good today. I just feel very low energy. Actually, that's quite interesting. I'm using that phrase because that is I can see that Nix has commented saying something about low energy. I just caught that earlier, and it's so basically this is me replying being like I'm in the same boat, and I feel a lot of you will be. So when you feel like that, you really do have to look after your own energy, which is what I'm guided to do. But like I said, I'm here to record this. So yes. So anybody that I need to get back to emails and stuff, because I have got a few there, I'll probably get around to that tomorrow when the moon shifts into Sagittarius. That's my moon. Yeah. So I think that's it. I've got Saturn in Scorpio, and the moon is near enough conjunct my, or just past that, I think, my Saturn right now, so it can make me seem very serious. And usually when I'm good at helping people with boundaries and everything, if you hear my stomach grumbling, I'm actually doing a fast just now. I'm detoxing and stuff, so uh, just letting you know that. I mean, that could be quite common as well, but I mean, it's going to be more likely that you're gonna. So I'm drinking my tea without milk just now, which I'm enjoying. Anybody else that's been opposed to that? Do you know how I'm talking about tea? This is how random channeling is. I actually feel I'm getting led. I literally just put the Lily card back, which says spiritual love in this deck, because I found it cutting about in a box. It wasn't with its pals. So I'm just wondering if that's going to come out again. So if you don't already know that, I have been getting drawn to the name Lily and channeling about lilies for it must be like a year and a half now, right? It's just been coming through really, really strong. And although, I have found people that have taken the message for like grannies and stuff in the past, it kept coming through really strongly. And then it felt like a bit of a, I don't know, finding the answer moment for me, very Da Vinci Code. And I just watched that from the start to the end, which again, although I had, because basically, long story short, I went to the Roslin Chapel on the solstice there, if anyone missed that. And that is in the Da Vinci Code. Now, I hadn't seen that, but the next day after I'd been, I was tired in my bed because, again, it was a bit of a, fuck's sake, man. Spirit made sure I got there, but it was all a bit of a, it was a bit stressful. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it took its toll. My hay fever, the long grass, where that is, that just, oh my God, it went for me. Anyway, yeah, I hadn't seen all of it, but it was so crazy. Like, this is my life. Like, the next day, of course, I turned the movie channel on, and it was literally at the bit in the Da Vinci Code where they go to Roslin Chapel, which actually my dad recently said, he said, you know, that isn't the real one. Like, they just, the way they filmed it, like, they didn't actually go there. And I'm like, all right, it looked like they did. But anyway, fun fact there. But yeah, I caught it just as it was starting yesterday, so I may as well watch it. There's a lot of blood and violence in that. I really went into that shit. But anyway, you know, I was kind of half paying attention, half no, and it is all very Scorpio moon right now. It is all very like detective sort of shit, and it's all about the connections and everything. And so anyway, that does feel connected, doesn't it? But anyway, oh yeah, that's why. So when you go to the Rosalind Chapel, when I was reading the info bit, it had about the rose petals connected to Christ and all that, and on the again, I'm not explaining it very well. You look up yourself, or look at the info bit that I posted in the community tab. But it had about. I just remember it had something about the rose, because obviously it's to do with the rose line, the ley lines, and everything, which is why I was guided there, and I was pulling out all these cards about. Actually, yeah, Sacred Union's on the top. Well, shuffle these. I wasn't going to use them. Oh my god, actually, fucking right. I swear to God, cross my heart, hope to die. I don't say that lightly. I didn't plan this. Look at what's on the top. The Sacred Union and the Holy Grail. You can't fucking make this shit, man. The whole film's about the Holy Grail, if you didn't know that. Stop the endless searching and request the Sacred Union. But you see, even there's a message in that. Like, the Sacred Union is within yourself. And when you find that Sacred Union within yourself, the physical union won't be that far away. But you never really know. So, and then just for banter, that one was also sitting on the top too. That was my last bloody phone stand just fell. We don't want that one breaking too. Right, so let's just shovel it. So anyway, yeah, because it was, so anyway, that's why the whole point of me going on about that was I felt like when I saw that written about the lilies, I felt like, all right, that's one of the reasons I keep getting drawn to the word lily. It'll be other reasons too, but anyway, so let's see what comes out. Anyway, and just because I spoke about my tea there, what do we need to know about this? So again, this is the kind of randomness that happens here, guys. So get a cup of tea yourself, you want to kick back. Right, so what have we got here? So I was planning, but they've changed it a bit. I'm going to do a shamanic spread out the book, which is about, it's called The Hidden Treasures of the Medicine Wheel, and it's really just about helping you let go of stuff, which is very apt for the Scorpio moon, and definitely, it's not there now, but when the South Node in Scorpio was conjunct the moon yesterday, because that actually is the last time that will happen in some people's lifetimes, but it's the last time that will happen for 19 and a bit years or something. So yeah, quite a big deal. And I'd imagine people with the South Node in Scorpio that's going to be good news to you. You know what I mean? It's like, if you've got the South Node in Scorpio anyway, you're going to be used to it. But I just kind of feel it's been extra rough for people with that. I've seen it around me. So, and basically for all of us, you know, because wherever the nodes are, it affects us. And the node shift into, North Node shifts into Aries in a couple of weeks there, around the 18th of July, I believe. So, and again, like I've been saying, if you want me to help you check out where that's going to affect you in your lives, because these are big, big changes for all of us, I can help you do that in a session, right? So I'm going to do that spread, but what do we need to know about these? Just give us a wee... So again, this is either going to be a collective message, or it's going to be a specific personal one that somebody really needed for me to be on here. Great worry over nothing. Oh, I've not seen this card before. Whale. So the whales, you know, randomly, you know, whales and dolphins feel very new earth energies to me. But it says great worry over nothing. So I feel whoever's connecting with this, it's like there's a lot of worry, there's a lot of stress. Again, the Scorpio moon, it isn't the nicest, you know. I mean, it's not like, you know, it's like, oh yeah, the moon's in Scorpio, I feel fun, great. Well, it depends, because for me, I often do, when it gets to now, past my Saturn, I start feeling really my strength. It's often when I've been guided to do like the real sort of ass kicking shamanic journeys for you guys, and that against like releasing out of toxic cycles and karmic stuff and that. But it's just real deep feelings, you know what I mean? And just Cancer season, it's I'm not good in Pisces season, really all the water signs. I'm not good in Pisces season, who is. We're dragging ourselves through Pisces season usually. And I'm not good in Cancer season, really, and I'm alright in Scorpio season, but I often do get hit with actually being physically unwell. So yeah, so do you know what I mean? And I always put that down to the, like I said, my Pluto conjunct my Scorpio rising. It's like always like a great big purge for me. But yeah, it's deep feelings, and I just feel actually Cancer Sun, Scorpio Moon, it would be hard to run away from your deep feelings right now. And if you are running away from your deep feelings, you could be doing things that are quite destructive. You know what I mean? It's yeah, Cancer, the shadow or the lower sort of side of Cancer is depression, sadness, victim mode kind of feeling, and then the Scorpio moon is a bit dark. You know what I mean? It's pain. God, I'm not really making it sound too great. So yeah, anyway, that's what's coming to me. So yeah, this is, like you said, great worry. I just zoned off channeling that, and it's great worry over nothing. So I feel there is quite a lot of worry. What else need to know for someone that's going to connect with this? Look at all them, and then that's the rest, because I can't shuffle them all together. Well, God. Right, so there's going to be something significant here about anything that I've said, but again, this is what I mean about, like, I'm kind of quite sleepy, and like I said, I'm just wanting the day to hurry up so that I can, so that I can be tomorrow already, and I can eat. But I'm not actually finding that too hard, to be honest. I'm not actually finding that difficult, to be honest. But, and again, right, there's something in that. If people, listen, if this is the stuff that people want support with, whether it's getting yourself in I don't know, just being more disciplined if anywhere in your life, or if it's anything around eating, or basically anything like that, that's very North Node in Aries. And remember, I am an Aries, if you don't know that, I'm an Aries at the highest degree, and I'm a Venus in Aries, so I'm very passionate, and that's the life coach part of me. It's transformational coaching mixed in with my shamanic healing. It's just basically, it's my own stuff. Because I'm a counsellor as well, I just weave everything that I do, the healing, into everything that I do to motivate you. So the reason why I'm not finding this really too difficult is because when I set my mind to something, I get it done. Do you know what I mean? And it's interesting because that doesn't go across the board with everything, because anyway, I'm not going to get into all that, but that's going to mean something to someone, because again, I am that kind of Aries energy. If I start something and I can stop it, and I get excited, and then that's very ADHD, but it is also very Aries. But when it comes to things like if I set myself a goal like that, like, right, I'm going to stop having coffee for 2 weeks, which by the way, I still haven't had coffee, and this is the third or fourth week. I think it's the third week. And it'll be going into the fourth week, yeah, the weekend there. But and then that's led on to me having my tea without my milk, right? And it's, you know what I mean? It's always like I'm really quite good at stuff like that, whatever. Yeah, so basically it's, if anybody, I don't know where people would need help with that, you'll know better than me, but yeah, what I'm saying is clearly this is going to have something to do with it, right? So spiritual love, aka this is a twin flame channel, it's got something to do with a union here, I feel, with it. I'm going to shuffle these and see if that Holy Grail comes out. But a distant friend is funny wording, isn't it? Right, so great worry over nothing, and a distant friend is thinking of you. Dogs are about loyalty as well, far away. So I feel this is someone's twin flame thinking about you, if you're the twin flame that they're thinking about, or you are the twin flame thinking about your twin flame. You know what I mean? Again, twin flames think about each other all the time, but you know what I'm saying? It's ones that are not awakened to the depth of the connection yet, can shut that off more than what the other one can, is the best way to put it. But interesting, right? Okay, so what else do we need to know about this? Oh, and it's, I was about to say, it is July, not yet. So, okay, it's getting juicy, guys, and I just looked at 1444, 144, so I was about to say, it's about twin flames, everything's about twin flames, but you know what, it feels like about a twin flame Inner union, yes, because that's come up, but this feels like about a twin flame physical union, which could be possibly coming about in July, or it's at least the start of communication. And again, it is because someone's worried about something, they're thinking about you a lot, they've awakened to this love. And again, I do feel with me sharing all that about the Da Vinci Code and the lilies and the roses and the rose light and all that, it's because that's all to do with Mary Magdalene and everything. Mary Magdalene, Jesus, twin flame. It's all very heavy stuff, right? It's all stuff I'm interested in though. And it's what, again, I heal with these energies because I'm a twin flame healer. The twin flames are the only people I'm allowed to help. So fucking share it with your pals if you want to help a small business. Your twin flame pals. And again, people that aren't twin flames, you can send them to me too. But again, like I always say, it's always interesting research. They never end up booking. Right. But yeah, I do feel that with that July coming out, I feel there's some sort of something right around the corner. What else do we need to know about this? Needle and the thread, a sincere wish will be granted. Oh look, dog again, how interesting. 2 things about dogs. So I feel it's like, look, either you are this loyal person or this person is loyal to you. And they're protecting you, or you're protecting your twin. Protection from a powerful friend. And a sincere wish will be granted. And again, I feel like the worry is, it's like there's worry over nothing because something's going to all come together. And again, it could be a dark man, a man with dark hair, or everything else that would. Dealing with relationships with a man with dark complexion or hair. Again, you could be this man, a man could be involved. Tower, solid foundation, success with effort. Isn't that interesting that the Tower card in the tarot is like, oh, you know what I mean? Again, it's not bad, but it's a big change, and it can be, you know, to keep it real here, there's a Scorpio moon, it can be like something shit happening, but there's always something falling down for something better to fall together. But this says solid foundation, success with effort. That's so interesting to me. This is what I love about channeling. That feels like it's tying into when I was going on about my Saturn and Scorpio and how with some things in my own life, again, it's hard to really, it's hard to, and again, I'm finding it really hard to put into words what I mean, but those of you who know me well, you'll know that if you've worked closely with me one-to-one or in a group. When I have a goal for the group for healing, or you know what I mean, it's like I'm a good leader in that way. Like it's like I'm disciplined and I get us through it. So where people are kind of dragging their heels or whatever, it's more when it comes to doing it for myself with some things that can be a little bit more challenging, but not everything, because of what I've just said about whenever I say, right, I'm going to stop coffee for a month, I stop it for a month or longer. Whenever I say I'm going to do this kind of eating healthy, cutting out sugar, I managed to do it, you know what I mean? And I love all of these things. So me bragging about that is because, bragging is not the right word, but it's because I can help other people do it too, because I can be so disciplined with myself. New home, new attitude. So there's something about that being significant here. And box, you will receive a gift. Oh my god, and that's kind of crazy too, because in the Da Vinci Code, it's all about, you know, the wee scroll thing is in a box, and it's, anyway, you need to watch it. Stepping into a new experience, right? I think we'll leave it there, but unsettled times need to plan ahead. I just feel like there's a lot of change going on. Anyway, that message wanted to come through, but it's always crazy when I say, oh, this card. I mean, look how many cards. When Lily jumps out and look how many cards there are. Let's shuffle this, because this pile didn't get a look in. Do you know what? This is quite interesting. This rat card, I just somehow put that down and it had been missed out. So I feel that's they're trying to tell me someone working against you behind your back. Like that card almost, like, you know, it stayed out the pile that I shuffled, and it was also stayed out of this pile I'm about to shuffle. So I feel that is reflective of there's someone working against you behind your back. So again, it kind of gives me hidden enemy vibes. And this is when the moon's in Scorpio, that's when I'm at my the heightened for me to pick up on that with people. So yeah, pay attention. Yeah, there's something about someone's not, I don't know, smiling to your face, but that came out in the last thing I done. Again, it's only gonna, don't be suspicious of everyone, but it's only gonna resonate if you've had suspicions or something, right? And we've got tankard, celebration, fun, enjoyment. Yeah, again, it's like people come out the woodwork when you're close to a celebration of some kind or something going well in your life. So I just feel happiness. Look, I'm not going to pull any more, but it's like someone's really close to a celebration, fun, enjoyment, and happiness. And there's people that are envious of that. Pay attention to your finances again. Scorpio is about the 8th house, which is about debt, other people's money. So wherever that fits. Elephant. That's right. This is just, I love when Spirit do this. I don't know where this is going to, like, I asked for a sign today, and I asked for a sign about an elephant, and there it is. It's just funny when that happens, isn't it? And it's like, now I'm like, right, what did I even ask? Like, it's like, I'm like, I can't remember what have I asked to see an elephant, but I remember, it'll come to me, but I remember I asked to see an elephant. A long journey, either physical or mental, will leave you wiser at the end. So this is it feels like someone's been through some really tough karmic lessons, a long journey, and someone is behaving stupidly. So again, this could either be someone behaving stupidly around you, feels a bit harsh, doesn't it? But again, Scorpio Moon can give you it straight, and I'm definitely going to give you it straight with all my Scorpio placements. But someone's behaving stupidly around you. Maybe you feel like you've been behaving stupidly, something to do with that. And muddled, unclear thinking. And yeah, so whatever that has to do with that, right? And then what else do you need to know here? Looks like this video is probably going to be about an hour, so that's all right. Fall into my arms, surrender, holding the opposites extremes of life instantly. I've never really looked at this. She is holding someone there. It's like, I don't know if that's... There is actually, look, there's like ancestors in the sky, and she's holding someone. It either looks like it's a baby, but it could be like she's holding another adult, but I don't know. But I've never been guided to look at that before, but I have now. And so that feels significant that, you know, that Cancer season is about the 4th house, which is about the ancestors. I feel it's like the ancestors are bringing together a twin flame physical union. Which again, when I say physical union, it can be contact first and whatever, and it can be reunions before a union, because reunion is different than a union. Reunion is when you meet and then you come apart again, you meet, you come apart. Union is when you're in the union and you work through it together. Surrender, holding the opposites, extremes of life. Yeah, so holding the opposites is, again, just reminds you very yin yang. What else do you need to know about that? And there it is again. Fuck's sake, man, this is fascinating me that I just found the Da Vinci Code and watched all of it yesterday, and I keep feeling the Holy Grail. Stop letting endless search and inner quest, the Holy Grail. Yeah, what I'm getting from this is it's like someone really has found a really strong sense of inner peace, is what I want to say, and inner balance, and surrendered, because that says surrender. And because of that, it's like their twin is feeling something like that too, like action, follow your intuition before it makes sense. That actually really reminds me of when divine masculines are like, I've no idea what I'm doing, but I'm being guided, which is how it is for divine feminine energies too. But it's like I would say, it's a bit scarier for divine masculines because it's even more alien than it is for divine feminine. Divine feminines are quite used to it, again, regardless of gender. But again, divine masculines that I work with, regardless of gender, are more used to it, because again, well, you're around me a lot and you've just gotten used to it in your own life with that kind of. But look, action, follow your intuition before it makes sense, and it could be something to do with this. Like, look, feeling worlds apart from karmic relationships, realising something's a karmic relationship in the first place, actually, for some people. Orion energy, polarity. So there's you know, something like, what did that say there? Holding the opposites and polarity, soul growth, conflict. Yeah, it's like somebody's really feeling a real strong nudge to move away from it. This is actually the same as the video that the last one I put out, it feels. Because sometimes I see this as you and your twin flame feeling worlds apart, like divine feminines and the higher sort of timeline, divine masculines going through their karmic stuff, and the physical, obviously divine feminines do too, but you know what I mean, it's like basically can't get to each other. But also it's like karmic relationships feeling worlds apart from not just romantic relationships, this could be anyone around you. And the bloom, creations, realise, right time, harvest, celebrate good times. Come on, oh look, there's a whale again, that's what came out at the start. Share your song, frequency of sound, and I just sang it, which is funny, so that fits with the share your song, frequency of sound, down deep. Can I just say, this might seem unrelated, but is anyone weirded out like I am that I've been channeling Madonna songs rapid? Like, you know, the last few times I've been alive, I'm singing different Madonna songs, and Madonna's in the news right now. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, I don't think that was the real Madonna, but anyway, whatever. That's a very Scorpio moon. Yeah, celebrate, create something. Yeah, something. It's the right time for something to bloom, for a twin flame connection out there. So it's obviously not everyone, but there's something. I'll put these away now. But stop the inner searching. Someone has reached, I don't know, the next part of the journey or something. Right, I was going to use these, right. So I want a card for the, give us a card that now, see if the time is now or something comes out. That's going to freak me out. To be honest, I don't even know if that card is in the deck, because it might be kicking about somebody else. But there's a card that says the time is now or something. Right, so I'm shuffling on camera. What is the theme for this spread that we're going to do? And again, like I said, it feels like it's going to be quite specific for someone out there, but it could be a collective of people. We'll just see. And I'm not going to do Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine. I'm just going to read it for whoever it is. Consider this an SOS twin flame reading. Oh, I got drawn to that before I started shuffling these. Get the big picture. Now, what's interesting is tomorrow, when the moon moves into Sag, that is about getting the big picture. And I am good at helping people get the bigger picture, because I am a moon in Sag. So, and again, I always say I've got a bird's eye view of twin flames, because I've helped so many thousands of twin flames over the 8 years that I've been, that I've had crystal clear visions. And like I said, probably before 8 years, because I bet you I was bumping into folk like that all the time and didn't realise that they were on that path. But yeah, it's been a long time anyway that I've had this bird's eye honour, have a bird's eye view of different twin flame connections, and so I've got quite a unique view on twin flames, I feel, and it comes from a lot of experience with helping twins, and obviously being one. Right, and on the bottom we have love flows through you and to you. That feels very Mary Magdalene, unconditional love sort of energy, right? So that one didn't come out. Cut the deck. Trust there's a divine plan. That feels very in line with energy. So love flows through you into you. Right, okay. Let's do this now. Right, so before I start, I'm just going to have a wee sip of my tea. Right, so the first card is the card in the south represents that which you need to let go of, that which needs to be shed. It's an old wound that you no longer need to define yourself by. So this is actually two of the same deck put together, so we might have some doublers, so that always excites me when that happens. What does whoever this is for need to know out there when it comes to the part of them that needs to be shed? The staff in reverse, right, so we'll put that there. And the next card is the card in the west, represents a part of you that needs to die. It's an old story that needs to be let go so that you may find a new meaningful story for your life. I know, what needs to be shed, what needs to die. It feels like the same thing, doesn't it? But what needs to die? We've got the ancient ones in reverse, and that's also number 1, so that feels significant. And this makes my life a bit easier that they're in reverse, because it means I don't need to read the longer thing. And the card in the north represents the wisdom that you need to acquire. You've learned the lessons from the south and west. What wisdom is ready to mature within you? What is your great medicine that you're ready to embrace? What are the deeply buried treasures that have become available to you? The council, also in reverse, and that's an 11. 11 springs to mind. And is the next one going to be reversed too? The card in the east represents your possible destiny, the way that you will share your treasures and gifts with others. So already, right, before I pull the last one, it feels like this is about someone's, it's like someone's path to date. Like, I was tempted to say karmic path. But it's like we've all had a karmic path, or we're still on it for some people. You know what I mean? It's like, it's based, so, take the word karmic out or whatever, keep it in, but it's like someone's path to date. And it's like, I feel if this is you, you're beginning to see, even if it's just a little bit, you're beginning to see the deeper meaning of it all. And the reason I'm kind of getting that is because of them making me talk about the Da Vinci Code. Because again, like I said, I was zoning out. I do like the blood and all that shit, right? But it's like I do find anything to do with Mary Matt just because I'm just so connected to the story. As they told me, the Sacred Feminine deck of cards were there, which is hilarious because in the book, he's wrote the book called The Sacred Feminine or something like that. So, but yeah, there's other bits I'm zoning out, but it is all about the connections, which I'm crazily all about the connections. And again, I don't know why they're getting me to say this, but probably because we are getting near Leo season, and providing I feel up to it, I do want to do my Activate, Awaken and Amplify Your Clairs Zooms, where we have an interactive fun time on the Zoom, and we do breakout rooms and everything, and I basically help you do that. I help you activate, amplify and awaken I mix up the words, your clairs, because that is my gift, is helping you find yours and basically find it. And like I say, I amp people's clairvoyance and whatever clair you already had up at. Basically, I help people recognise what your strongest clair is. That's what I'm good at doing, and I can help you develop the other ones. Because most people generally have a clair that's the strongest. Unless you're a little bit like myself, and like I say, I can never home in. Other people that have worked with me, other mediums and healers, always feel that, well, it's been said to by a few people that they feel that they've never met anyone with such strong clairaudience. But yeah, that's what other people tend to notice in me quite a lot. But again, like, look at what I said about spiritual. I'm very clairvoyant. I feel they're all just equal. But yeah, anyway, so if you don't like learning in groups and interactive, it is a lot of fun, and we'll all be a lot more sociable, right? Cancer season's more hermit. Leo is like, woohoo, come out and play. So like I said, I'll make the most of it when I'm feeling like that. It'll be to do with the heat as well though, guys, because I'm not big on the sun. I'll need to work out what times would be best for me. But if you don't like learning groups, I know a lot of you prefer one-to-one. I can do one-to-one coaching around, supporting you with your gifts and everything. What I always say though is I tend to not want to do the coaching with anyone if you've not had the counselling with me prior, or like I said, if you've had counselling with someone else. And really, it's like, and the reason I say that is I just don't feel people have a good sense of confidence about them when they've not had counselling. Like, sorry, that's going to trigger the fuck out of people that haven't had counselling, but it's true. You know what I mean? It's like people that haven't had decent counselling, there is a need of confidence that's missing. And I do feel when it comes to working with other people in the way like this, it's like you do need to have a certain confidence about, you need to be basically a clear channel. I mean, that clear means clear, and you need to be a clear, and like I always say, a lot of my gift is natural, but I have worked very hard on it throughout the. So although it's natural, I've enhanced it a lot by doing all the different things that you know me to do, or you can read in the info bit. Do you know what I mean? So it's anyway, whatever that means to everyone. So 33 minutes. That always reminds me of Jesus. And we've been talking about Mary Magdalene a lot here. So Jesus is about forgiveness and healing, and obviously I was just talking about that. So yeah, if you want to do stuff with me one-to-one, and a lot of the time, anyone that's done the counselling with me, a lot of if we tune in together and it feels like you've got a real sort of strong sense of self before the sessions are up for the counselling, I have been known to use a couple, I wouldn't really use any more than that, a couple of the last sessions that you've got and do more coaching based ones. But that would only be on a unique basis of, again, it's hard to say without, it's anyway, blah, blah, blah. That's, so for whoever's interested and stuff like that. And of course, when you just book a single session, we could do something around that, but there's only so much that you can do in a session. But again, people have come to me, especially when it's the ones that are 3 hours and that. When people have had a chakra soul empowerment reading with me, some people have just had that once, and like either I've not seen them again, and then I bump into them somewhere and they're doing really great, and they attribute a lot of it to doing that session, because again, it awakens a dormant energy in you, it gets you following your calling, or at least on the path of it. and definitely the astrology, the psychic astrology empowerment, because that does, it activates and awakens the part of you that you're asleep to. And then sometimes people will come back after like 2 years, or like I said, I've had a lot of people coming back after things like 6 and 7 years recently. Do you know what I mean? And because people were like, where the fuck did Claire go? Like, she disappeared off the other platforms, and then they're finding me here. So anyway, God, this has taken a long time. The card in the each represents your possible destiny, the way that you will share your treasures and gifts with others. But look at that, I just got took on a magical mystery tour of going into all of that. Like, you know, basically, well, sharing a wee bit of, you know, basically it feels like I said, it feels like what I'd said was going to happen. My Saturn and Scorpio talking, like, I've played the long game. I'm still playing the long game. You know, it's like, but I can help other people. I don't want to say cut corners, but that's the saying they give me. I can help people cut corners, but not in a kind of missing in and out. I can help. It's like I always say, right? I've said this for years on my lives. I take the scenic route so you don't have to. Do you know what I mean? And that is to do with my 6 retrograde planets. But it's like, yeah, that kind of nails it, right? But you see, it's quite funny. It's taken me ages to pull this last card. So the last card is, which represents your destiny, the Time Master. That's hilarious. And it's upright, so that feels significant. Now, somebody at the age of 57 might be significant out there, or 1957. And then we've got the medicine wheel, and that's what this spread's all about. So I think I will read that card as well, if I remember. Right, so, oh God, and that's crazy, because that is what the medicine wheel's all about, like going through all the different parts of the medicine wheel. So that's quite funny that that's what ends right up there. Right, okay, so the card in the south represents that which you need to let go of, that which needs to be shed. It's an old wound that you no longer need to define yourself by. So this is how you'll know if this... So we've got number 1 and number 1. This is how you'll know if it's you, if it resonates. But if not, I'm sure you'll be able to get something out of it. Do you know what I'm just noticing here? It's about to get to 37 minutes, right, as I'm saying it right now. And like I said, I always connect 37. Well, 37 because a lot of my... clients, a lot of the soul family are 37, but also the 37 is an age when you're in your nodal return. Like I said, the other ages as well. Wait a minute, I just want to check something. Right. Oh, it's 55. Do you know what I was thinking? See if it's 57, that would be hilarious, but it's 55, yeah. So the nodal return is when you're approximately 18, 37, 55, or 74. So if any of are those age, you're in that, but you're probably about to come out of it because the nodes are changing, like I said. But that is now my sign for something to do with following your destiny, following your North Star, following your North Node. But what I noticed as well when I was doing the live the other day, and I said something really quite significant, and I think I said something significant about divine masculine energies, but don't quote me on that. But it was twin flames. Whatever I said right at 37 minutes on the last live, it was, yeah. I said something significant, it was 37 minutes, and I just had to laugh to myself. I can't remember what it was now, but I noticed when I was watching it back. Right, so what I'm saying is I feel most of the time I read for something that is for a divine masculine energy regardless of gender, so it feels like this is no different, just for me being drawn to that, right? So, right, we have the ancient ones beseech you to examine your attitudes and actions and be sure that they are of the highest integrity, not forgive an ancestor or yourself, and remember I've seen the ancestors in that card, is keeping you from the freedom you seek. Remember, this is no longer your karma. You can break the chains that once bound you to family drama or be free from your generational curses. And again, I'm just noticing that, again, the whole sort of Holy Grail and the bloodline and family and ancestor stuff is in that film as well. Forgive the ones you need to release. Honour your biological ancestors by lighting a candle to them tonight, right? And you know how fond I am of lighting a candle for healing, right? So there is something about the old wound is not carrying this generational curse, which feels quite deep, isn't it? But that's what seems to be coming through. Right, so, did I just fucking read the wrong... Oh, God. Right, they're basically the same, but I just read... That's happened for a reason. but I'm now going to read it the way it's meant to be. I've just read number 2. How confusing. So the one I just read was actually the part that needs to die. So like I said, they're quite similar. So this, fuck's sake, this is actually the wound that you no longer need to define yourself by. Right. So again, there's something about it's okay to make mistakes, and like I always say, divine mistakes. There are no mistakes. It's only lessons, right? You're caught up in a delicate balance between opposing forces. There's a lot about duality, opposing forces, very yin-yang, between masculine and feminine, between action and non-action. Use this to your advantage. And there can be no day without night, no low without high, no wrong without right. This is the time to take corrective action, beginning with your beliefs about what needs to be fixed or repaired. Let destiny, which I just spoke about, take its course, nudging it slightly along. Interesting. So again, that's why I just got drawn. See, now I'm doing the Da Vinci Code where like, but like I said, I'm always, if you're new, I'm always in that mode. Literally always. I just go really deep into it when it's a Scorpio energy, a Scorpio. Yeah, it really does feel like that. It's like, I've just lost it because I started saying that. Yeah, it's like somebody's reluctantly being pushed into their destiny now, and I do feel it's to do with the time's running out. It's because the nodes are about to shift, and everyone, regardless of whether this is your nodes or not, but it's going to be more significant if it is your nodal shift. It's like, even if you don't know a lot about astrology, so you might even notice other people in your life like that. Yeah, so say that'll be interesting. If some of you are either younger or older, you might have people around the age of 37 right now where you're noticing they're in that time of their life, like in whatever area it is, where things seem to be changing up for them, looking at things in a different sort of way or being guided down a different path, karmic things coming to an end, realise just all ancestral, just lots of stuff. And again, with me being, I turned 39 this year, that I've shared this before, but someone obviously must need to hear it again. It is 37 for me was a really, really painful year. Like it wasn't fun in the slightest. There was huge karmic relationship changes for me. Like people that had been in my life for decades suddenly weren't. And it was just, again, like, and that's really it. You know what I mean? It was like, and it was in the ways of which, it's interesting because people that don't kind of get, which is going to be really none of you, but it's in the kind of way where I just, that my Sag, sorry, an alarm's going off, but you see that fits in with what I said about the time's running out. With me having a view from above and getting the bigger picture, I am very, very, I get what the spiritual journey is all about. I understand my spiritual journey very well. Obviously, I'm always helping other people's with spiritual journeys, shamanic journeys, and it's a constantly journey for myself too. And it's like I just at the time I can find it quite difficult, depending on what it is for letting people go in my life, and other times. I find it, well, put it this way, on the grand whole of things, getting the bigger picture, I let go of people a lot easier than most, I would say. But I can still find it hard, you know what I mean? But I'd say in recent years, I can let go of people a lot easier than most because of what I've went through. But it's just made me stronger each time, is what I'm saying. So whoever resonates with that too. But yeah, there is something here about yeah, I just feel as a collective, we're feeling that intense energy of the nodes about to shift, and then we're going to be going into eclipse season. It's all just very big, huge life changes. Yeah, so it's not small stuff that's going on. Again, and all the mentioning masculine, feminine is twin flames. So that's the first one. That's the old wound that you no longer need to define yourself by, but to translate it, I just feel it's like something, an identity that you've had for a long time is now, it's shifting. Like you no longer, so other people might want to still see you as a certain way, but you don't identify with that anymore, which is why they're getting me to say that about in that time in my life. I'd already been changing rapidly for years, but it was like when I got to that at 37, it was like, it was just everything, like literally, I'm not kidding, it literally changed from my birthday. And yeah, I've just never looked back, you know what I mean? So it's the only way I can, but it wasn't easy, yeah. 30, the whole of 37 wasn't easy. 38 last year as well was pretty fucking crazy, so I'm just being honest. And 39 so far has been pretty fucking nuts too. So but I think what are you saying? Like, we're all just getting on with it, whatever fucking age you are, do you know what I mean? Right, I'm getting on with it and I'm helping other people through it, I might add, but which as a lot of you are. Right, so that's the first one. I've already read the second one. Represents a party that needs to die. So again, so yeah, your identity is shifting and changing, and I feel if this is yours, you're accepting it now. So perhaps you wearing, this fits with the shorts. This happened when I done the video the other day. It fits with the shorts, but yeah, you're no longer identifying. But again, there might be a bit of stubbornness kind of holding on to before a tower moment happens, really, it feels like. And no longer feeling the need to identify with generational curse, wound, whatever words you want to use, but it's do you know, it's like what came to me there as well, with being a Scorpio moon, it's kind of like that can be things to do with money. Like I've always read loads of books about that, and you know, find it interesting that when I cut about loads of business groups, like again, I've not done that for fucking years now. Again, I pulled right back into hermit mode. I am the hermit and the moon and the tarot, but it's like, you know, I just couldn't be, you know, this is, you know, there's very few places that I would hang out online, and obviously this is one of them, helping use, but um, it's, yeah, I was getting stuff about, like, say you want to do something different and you come up with some really unique idea, or you know, or you just want to make a lot of money, you know. Again, this isn't, it's not, again, this must be for someone out there, because as you know, like, you know, that's something that I've struggled with is I don't do this for the money, do you know what I mean? But that can come with difficulty because, well, I can be taken advantage of if I allow it, and I don't always see it, you know. But and I've learned many lessons in that area, and uh, and B, it's yeah, I'm just always so excitable and love my work that, well, it's just, yeah, it always comes out that it's always lessons around that with me, is like working out who's genuine and who's not so genuine. And well, just it's not, and it's not about, you know, I'm not about blaming and shaming all of that around here. It's about taking responsibility for um when you can recognize about yourself that you know that you're more vulnerable to somebody taking advantage in a certain area, then you know, be more responsible about it. So like I said, I am now in my life, but it's what anyway, so what I was trying to say is it's just interesting, right? But anyway, put that aside, that's just stuff. But they're giving me this example of, if you actually want to kind of surpass a certain income level or something, but it's like a generational curse might have been that, who do you think you are to do that? Or you're getting a bit too big for your boots, or you know, or it's just, I'm getting this feeling of like somebody's like, I don't know, like say you've invented something, or it's like that's quite funny actually, because it was like Nikola Tesla's birthday recently as well. Yesterday I think it was, but it's kind of like, for me, it's that, and then, and also it's really quite sad because when I've researched stuff about it, it's like he was just totally taking advantage of that, and like people, oh my god, this is so interesting, this is fitting much. People stole his ideas, and um, yeah, it's like he didn't seem to get the respect until he died, kind of thing. Again, I might not be getting all of that right, but I know that I'm getting most of. I think it's pretty spot on what I've said because I'm channeling it as well. But I do know that to be the case. And again, sadly, I do identify with a lot of that. You know, it's like, yeah, I have heard these said things happen to me where people have um taken credit for things. Yeah. So yeah, again, I don't know who that's gonna make sense, but anyway, I more feel it's like there's something about uh there's something about letting these things go, because these are both about letting it go. So that was a bit of a mixed bag. I'm picking up on, yeah, the example was somebody's wanting to make something of themselves, but the generational curses, all the energy that, and it might not be people say things, it might just be like this feeling that comes at you that like, who are you to want to do something different? Um, that's what's dying. So right, whatever that means to say, and all the other bits and bobs they made me say. Right, so the third one is And the whole point of me saying that is I've removed the medicine wheel, because again, when I do this this is clearing energy for whoever's connecting with it, right? But really anyone, because it's always healing. It's about, I've come pretty full circle with that too, because like I said, it's just the truth. Like, I have had many circumstances where I've had a unique original idea, or I've named something, and before you know it, somebody's like, "Oh, that's a good idea," and they've lifted it and kind of taken it. You know what I mean? It's annoying, isn't it? It's just kind of like, fuck's sake, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can't stand when folk copy people. But it's all a big circus, life's all a big circus. And it's, at the end of the day, I find it hard when people say things like, it's what's it that people say that gets on my tits? It's a compliment and all that kind of stuff. Like yeah, whatever. But sometimes it does just come down to it. It's like, you've just taken somebody's idea and pretending it's your own. Do you know what I mean? And it's annoying. But what I'm saying is, whenever things like this have happened to me, which, like I said, it's happened several times over the years, not for a long time, but again, how do I know? It probably could be happening somewhere. It happens all the time, where it's like smaller platforms have a good idea, and then lurking bigger things find it and they take it. It happens to people all the time, and you can't let these things get you down, is basically what I'm saying. But it must be a good idea if somebody's taking it. Do you know what I'm saying? And like I said, it kind of reminds me of the bit in Big Magic, where it's like, but that's not the same, actually. That example is not the same, because I'm not. She talks about, she had an idea for a book, but she hadn't put it out there yet, and then she hugged this woman, and she believes that the idea transferred into the woman, because the woman wrote a book with an identical storyline, which she doesn't have any logical explanation for it. But that's a little bit different. It's basically, the point is, if you don't go ahead with your, oh look, so this is definitely for someone out there. If you don't go ahead with your idea, don't be surprised if the divine gives that idea to someone else. But what I'm specifically talking about is a little bit different. Like, this is things that I've actually put out there, had as an original idea, and then I know for a fact people have taken it and sort of ran with it, and they made it their own with it, and it's just, again, I don't, like, whatever, you know what I mean? Right, okay, so, what did I get to? Basically, there's more important things in life, so don't dwell on it. If that's happened to you, I empathise, it's happened to me too, but move on. Right, so, the card in the north represents a wisdom that you need to acquire. You've learned the lessons from the south and the west. What wisdom is ready to mature within you? And that was very mature, what I just said. What is your great medicine that you're ready to embrace? What are the deeply buried treasures that have become available to you? Right, okay, so 11. Make it so different and unique that they can't copy is what I say. Do you know what I mean? Right, so you're never alone. Turn to the council to find the guidance you seek, and listen to the voice that arises spontaneously. Turn a deaf ear to the nagging voice of your ego that tells you that you are not up for the task before you. That fits with what I just channeled. Like, because again, if things like that have happened to you in the past, it did put me off for a while, but I'm just not putting my ideas out there if people are going to be shitty like that. But that's not the idea. That's not the answer either. There's always going to be people who do stuff like that. You can't not share your stuff, because people always do stuff like this. But don't live in fear either. Do you know what I mean? Create a spiritual feast for the council. Invite them to your altar every time you meditate or pray. Interesting. And that was the lessons you need to learn. Is basically I feel that's about really going within to ask what that's all about. And I feel personally, they're getting me to talk about, again, if you're new, get used to this is what they do all the time. Because I'm an Aries, with my Venus and Aries, I do use my own stuff a lot. And again, I own that. That's unique about me. When I pray and meditate about that, because believe me, again, this is so funny, because a lot of this stuff happened like so many years ago, but when I tune into how I felt at the time, I was just like, what the actual fuck? Like, I felt embarrassed. Like, I felt embarrassed for the people. But like, how, oh my god, look what they're pulling me to. Again, this is the Scorpio brutal truth coming in. I'm channeling, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, I'm keeping those bits, like, be original. But that is just what my soul says. It's like, you know what I mean? I just think, like, why do folk do shit like that? But anyway, the point is that is what I learned over the years. It's like, right, okay, in a way it is that. It's like, well, that must have been a good idea for somebody to instantly nab it. Do you know what I mean? And even if they take an idea that was mine and try to make it theirs, I'll always know the truth. Do you know what I mean? But I suppose it's what annoying is that other people don't. But again, there's something in that, is that um, there's always going to be two sides to one story, and then there's the truth. But again, in my life, these things aren't that deep, or they aren't that deep anymore to annoy me enough, basically. But for other things, they could be making me talk in code about things that are more serious. So again, I really do feel we are dealing with, I don't know, I feel like again, it wasn't that deep with me, but I feel there is something here. Someone must have went through some kind of, I don't know, like someone has lifted your work. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going on about that too much for it not to be mattering. But right, okay, so 57. Right, so um the card in the East represents your possible destiny, the way that you will share your treasures and gifts with others. And isn't it interesting? Because before I even read this, like, look at what my gift is. It is like, it is unique and unusual. And again, part of me resists it. You know what I mean? Like the I was about to say the nice part of me, but yeah, the nicer kind of, the Libra part of me in my chart that wants to be about love, peace, and harmony, and unconditional love, and to people, wants to not be so sassy and brutal about it, but it is just the truth that this is the things that happen to people out there, and I definitely am one of the people that sheds light on that darkness. That is just a bit of shit, you know what I mean? That is like, why can't people just be original? And it's just shameless, isn't it, when people do things like that? But what matters is, when I think about the lessons that I've learned, is what matters is that it's sculpted. And yeah, like, fuck, like, honestly, when I think to these different occurrences where somebody has like, again, we can, right, when I'm talking generally here, it can be things from um like, so when I used to write about the daily moon every day, right, on Instagram, Facebook, and it was quite a detailed, like, long look. It used to take me, like, sometimes quite a long time to write this, right? And I do plan at some point on doing something like that again, and some sort of, I don't know when it feels, maybe when it gets more in the winter again, or something, like, in a different sort of way, right? But, and again, I dabble with it now and again. I do, if I'm guided to do that, I write things on the community tab, which is why I was excited to get that. But the point is, I used to get wind, but like, either news back, wind back, the wind would tell me. But yeah, like, my guides would tell me that people were copying me. But then I'd actually get people who would literally come and say, like, look, somebody's actually lifted what you've wrote and they're claiming that they. And it was just like, I would just be like, why would somebody do that? Do you know what I mean? Like, fair enough if you're sharing it. But actually, like, try to pretend that you wrote it, it's a bit much, kind of thing, right? So annoying, not crediting someone's work. But I've also had things like, just, yeah, lots of different sorts of things. But yeah, each and every time where there's been some kind of annoying occurrence like this, it really, like, it got me so fucking angry and moved me so much into my shadow. And I felt help, like, there was, in a lot of these circumstances where things like this happened years ago, there was actually nothing I could do about it. Do you know what I mean? And so I had to just surrender to the fact that some people are going to be a total dick to you. Do you know? And you have to accept it. And then you have to move through it. And like I said, that's a cycle. If it's like you move through all the feelings. And so again, I've got more of a sense of humour around it. And like I say, with the shit I put out there now, I really don't know how people could, imitate the stuff that I do now in the way that. But again, it's, I don't care as much. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, whatever that means to people. Right. Okay. So, whatever. So hopefully that gives someone sort of insight to, and it is getting your hour mark now. I feel it's going to be an hour, like, into whatever that means for you. So, the card in the East represents your possible destiny, the way that you'll share your treasure and gifts with others. And by the way, can I just say, if anybody wants this particular spread, might be 4 cards, but look how much has come out 4 cards. You can have a pre-recorded unlisted video like this. You can book that from the schedule. And again, this really would be quite an amazing one to get for, well, any time that you're feeling it, but definitely with a nodal shift there. I feel it could be quite good to see what you're needing to let go of. You know what I mean? Right, so Time is a construct of human mind through which life events seem to flow in a straight line from past to future. This, however, is an illusion. Time moves in patterns, fractals, sometimes turning like a wheel and others moving straight as an arrow. Humans see time like a ticking clock. There's something about the clock and time again. And this image reminds us that there's only so much of it to spend in a life, like a kind of currency. And I suppose that's why they were getting me to say that about, like, I don't bother about any of this stuff anymore, you know what I mean, that I used to before. In fact, I cringe when I think about it, but I still do remember how fucked off I got at the time, because I've got so many placements in my chart that are about, that's not cool, man, just be yourself. But it's also because I know the new earth frequency, which I've always lived in that higher time, like, you know, like being, well, ahead of my time, in the way of, like, you know, my Uranus conjunct my moon, my Sag moon, and, you know, all that, because it's like, I'm getting too excited, I'm forgetting what I was saying there now. It's like, I just know that, the new earth is about sharing your own song, your shared frequency, and the more you try to imitate someone else, like, the less better you're going to do in life, you know, even if it's just a guilt. Like, anyone that's done stuff like that to me in the past, like, at some point, I bet something creeps over them, like, actually, you know, like, if people are lurking on this, well, it's like, I'm telling the truth. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, do you know what I'm saying? And again, it's like, so many people done this to me over the years that it's like, you know, it's like, it could be anyone, but it's, you know what I mean, it's that kind of, but again, it's like, I've got forgiveness for whoever done stuff like that to me, because it's just kind of like, it just sort of is like, I wonder why they felt so lacking in their own ideas that they had to take mine, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, whatever. Right, so, right, humans see, right, I've read that bit. At any given moment, you can see time and all its infinite potential at once, vast and all-encompassing, then shrunken and finite. It all depends on perspective. When the Time Master visits you, he asks the most important question: will you break free from limited cause and effect thinking by moving beyond the linear illusion and welcoming the cyclic quality of time? You find yourself in a moment when the wheel of time turns and you're able to influence the past, thus changing the present and future simultaneously. I get this, because this is what I help people do as well. Like I said, the Back to the Future wasn't my favourite film when I was a kid, still now, for no reason. Like, I help people quantum jump, like leap into a new timeline, but I also can help you go back to the past to change how you feel about it. And you've just seen me do it for myself. Like, I was fucked off at the time, but I can actually now see how it helped me move through a lot of deep shadow work. And in some circumstances that I can think of, actually, things changed without me doing a thing. Like, because I changed the way I felt about it, things sort of sorted themselves out. Again, I know that's cryptic, but I'm just saying that because it's like, you know, it's all, like I said, it's all anonymous and it's all kind of ages ago, but for the purposes of learning and all that. Because some of you will still be in this. Some of you could still be really fucked off about something, and it's probably not worth it, basically. Right, so, but again, might be for different people. Right, so, this is the true test of the Time Master. You're being invited to take back your power, so let go of the past and choose to step into your life. And yeah, and that is what I would say I just done there. Like, I took back my power by not being as bothered as what I was. In this moment, you're all powerful. You are the Time Master. Anything is possible now. Sometimes it appears that you're running out of time. You worry. Oh, wait a minute, this is the medicine, but I'm going to read it. This is when it comes out of verse. You worry you won't get what you need or want. Oh, remember the very first card was something about worrying? Everything gets stuck in a log jam. This is only in your mind. Time expands and contracts according to your ability to be mindful and observant, fully engaged in your now. It's time to release the story of your past. Equally, it's time to release the need to know the details of the future. This all fits with other cards. All the treasure magically reveals itself when you remain relaxed and present to what is directly in front of you and nothing else. Then you realise you have all the time in the world. You will never run out of it. You have all the time in the world. Yeah, so represents possible destiny, the way that you will share your treasure and gifts with the world. And I love that, because basically they showed you through my own experience of the gift that I can share with the world is like, look guys, I've had people do shitty things to me and that ain't the fucking half of it, right? That's just the fucking annoying shit to do with work and all that and ideas and that and stuff. Aye, fucking give me any area of life and I could tell you a fucking life story on it. But do you know what I mean? That is basically my gift as a storyteller. Of true stories, I might add. Right, now let's read this, because that was the one on the bottom. And yeah, the mystical shaman. Yeah, makes me a mystical shaman storyteller. Hilarious. The journey, and it's my journey. What's your journey? Right, 35. Right, so The medicine wheel is a sacred hoop with the 4 cardinal directions well marked. We've just went through the medicine wheel. It represents cycle of life, cycle of nature, circular pattern of the cosmos. It's been used millennia in the indigenous cultures to bring harmony and well-being to the village. It directions symbolises 4 steps the shaman takes to become a person of power and wisdom. This is fucking make me piss myself, because it's basically what they've just literally used my own example to show you. I know I keep repeating myself, but I could, that's what it's about. It's like, yes, things have happened in my life where it's fucked me off in the moment, but then it's like I've stayed with the annoyance, anger, upset, whatever it brought me, surrender to the fact you can't force people to do the right thing, whatever the circumstances are. Because this has happened to be about what it was for me, but this could be different things for different people. And then when you accept that, this has happened for a reason, you move through it, and you almost like to see the humour in things, you know what I mean? Well, not almost, you definitely do. And you do when you're sad, anyway. And then it means I'm more empowered to help other people, with really, like, more serious things than what I'm talking about, with things that are annoyed and how to let go and all that kind of stuff. Right, to manifest clear blue skies in your life, it's important that you take a look at certain aspects of your being, enter the medicine wheel from the south and reflect on how you're still clinging to events from the past. This is crazy, because that is the one that was on the bottom of the deck, and this is what we've just done. I'm sure this happened the last time I done this spread. I'm sure it did. I'm sure that was the last card. Continue to the west. Notice which relationships are toxic and drain your energy. That's very current for a lot of people. Step into the north and ask yourself, do I know my passion, and show it? I believe I do. And again, this is definitely me showing one of the bits that it's like, there is still resistance every time when I share ones. It's like, why didn't you go in the past and talk about that? But it's because other people are still in stuff like this, and it helps them let go of it. Do you know what I mean? Or at least trying to at least let go of it, because, is it that deep that you want to hold on to this? You know what I mean? It's blocking your blessings, kind of thing. If you'd said that to me at the time, though, I might have told you to get the fuck, but you know what I'm saying, right? We move through things. In the east direction, visualising how you want to live the next chapter of your life. It's up to you how much you spend in each direction, minutes, days, or months. And that's a very good point. I've worked with some clients, right? SoFam clients that have actually lived in the same house for 20 odd years and stuff. And so that really does mean that people stay in one area or one direction for minutes, days, months, years, decades. You know what I mean? So where in your life is it time to move around the medicine wheel? But when you're done, make sure to step outside the wheel and contemplate your journey. Right, I love it, because that feels very in line. With me sharing a wee bit of my journey there, right? So I've got another shamanic deck. I don't know where the book is for this, but if you're new, I don't typically tend to read. Well, some videos I do, I don't read the book at all, but it's just when I'm guided to. Right, so Dust Devil, moving. Wow, mind blowing. Fucking mind blowing. Moving, and I rarely use this deck, but I should use it more because it is good. Moving out of stagnation. That's crazy. That's what I just said about if you've been in the same rut, or not even a rut. You might have liked where you've been, but now it's time to move. Now it's time to follow your north node, or move with where the node is going, and it's all going into Aries for all of us. That is change, new beginnings, fire energy, excitement, passion. Where are you stagnated, bored? You've lost passion. Where do you need to move around the medicine wheel? To the Garden of Venus, rest and renewal. But I know that says rest and renewal, and this could be those of you that are feeling really tired. Hummingbird's about living in the moment. There's a hummingbird, isn't it? It's a beautiful picture, though. But Venus, obviously, is about love. And we're in the Venus retrograde pre-shadow, pre-shadow right now. So, I really do feel it is about some of you are close to the Garden of Venus, whatever that means. And getting, oh my God, right, fucking hell, getting back to integrity. Again, those of you know that is like literally my favourite word. Lost compass, getting back to integrity. Right, that's really going to speak to whoever that's meant to speak to, but that, surely I don't need to explain that. Because the whole thing I've just blathered on about there for quite a while is people not being of integrity, and it's one of the things that fucks me off the most. But the gift is, you learn, you get over it. You transmute the pain. Transmuting pain, yeah, it's painful at the time, but you transmute it and you turn it into gold, like lessons and learning for others. Because I am the divine feminine, and that's what divine feminines do. We go through a lot of shit, and I love the fact that I spoke about Mary Magdalene, the Holy Grail, and that card reminded me of Mary Magdalene. Let love flows through you and to you. It reminds me of that saying, forgive them, they know not what they do. So perhaps you resonate with... So anyway, I was actually saying this is for divine masculine, but this could be for another divine feminine. Just take it where it resonates. It's either this, what I shared is for another divine feminine that's went through similar stuff to the bits that I shared in my own journey, or you could be a divine masculine that is a female, of course, it could be that as well, or it could be this is for divine masculine and the different things you've went through has humbled you and moved you into your feelings, which Sun in Cancer, Moon in Scorpio is definitely going to do. Right, I'm not going to end it there because I feel now this doesn't really fit with Scorpio Moon, but because I didn't use these on the last card, I want to use them now. What do we need to know to go with this message? That's blew my mind though. Whatever that just said about integrity, it's so fitting with what I've just channeled, right? Emotional freedom and the divine feminine. I knew it. I should have said it. I knew, fuck. See, I'm annoyed at myself. See, I'm a perfectionist, right? So it's like, I'm annoyed I didn't say that I felt the divine feminine was going to come out. Because that's my creativity, is my channeling and sharing it, and I saw it in my third eye. But anyway, there it is. So, and it's about, it's about integrity. Like, I don't care if people don't believe that I knew that was going to come up. Again, this isn't that deep, but I'm using it as an example. It's like I know that I knew that card was going to come up. So it doesn't matter I didn't say it. So that's me speaking in code, that's going to mean something to someone out there too. Right, okay, so emotional freedom and the divine feminine. It's not got a number on it, so I need to just find it. Here's divine feminine. Where is emotional... We all love the guy from the garage, chivalry. That's a long time joke if you're new. I always say it's the guy that's been in the garage because he's got a bunch of flowers. It just reminds me what people do last minute. You know what I mean? Fuck, where can I get flowers at last minute? Mother's Day and different things. Right. True emotional freedom is liberating in its ability to embrace individuality in yourself and others. And it's number 13, and 13 is the divine feminine. This is 13, so that's quite interesting. I think this is 11. In modern society, we often encounter the notion being single means you're free, while being in a relationship means you're not. Nothing could be further from the truth. Many single people feel trapped by loneliness and inability to embrace certain aspects of life without a partner. Indeed, we often find that two people together may accomplish and enjoy much more of what the world has to offer than was possible on their own. You've drawn this card today because deep down you still believe or fear that being in a loving relationship will compromise your personal autonomy and emotional freedom. I can already see how this fits. Yeah, 100% I can see how it fits. For some, maybe not all the other stuff I channel, but no matter how much you desire a love and commitment, at one hand, there is a part of you that holds back because of this old feeling. And again, that'll be a lot of down to the fact that other toxic or karmic stuff that people have been in, where there's been real control elements and all that kind of stuff, it can just really make somebody feel like, right, I'm not in a hurry to get into something with someone else. Right, alternatively, if you're already in a relationship, it's time to acknowledge that your partner is not really limiting or suppressing you. No one can truly control you. Oh, look, I didn't know I was about to say that. So this card is suggesting it's time to reclaim your power, make healthier choices for yourself and act on them. And really what I was going to say before I read that bit is, if you've recognised that you are holding yourself back from getting into other things with others because of what you've went through in the past, as we've just moved through the medicine wheel, you need to at some point address that. But nobody can force you to do that. Like, either somebody that you want to be with, like, again, so when we're talking about twin flames here, it would be divine feminines. Oh, see, now I know why that's it. Like, the divine feminine has to divine feminines have to accept at some point, surrender on the journey, that if your divine masculine doesn't want to be in a committed relationship with you, you cannot force somebody to be in a relationship with you. It's just like you can't force somebody when you recognise that you would be able to help. Like, if we're talking about work, you recognise you'd be able to help them with something. Like, you can't force somebody to work with you. You know what I mean? I could go on and on and on, different areas of life. It's about you have to at some point reach that, you know, that's what's see how that was all about work stuff and copying and that, but that can fit with, you have to move through the medicine wheel of like the frustration and then the acceptance and the grieving and just coming to this place of peace. And I'm sure that's what I said at the start. So this is definitely going to speak to my more seasoned divine feminines, is what I would say. And if you're on that path and you're more newer to it, this is what you're going to move through. Right, where did we get to? True emotional freedom is not about keeping secrets from your mate. You may succeed in deceiving your partner, but you cannot deceive yourself in the long run. Integrity. Rather, emotional freedom is about acknowledging the different attitudes and perspectives. That's the duality, the yin-yang thing, each person holds, and creating a relationship that can embrace them all. Then each of you will feel free to think, speak and act authentically while sharing your uniqueness of your experience with each other. This generates a feeling of mutual support, care and understanding, and leads to amazing freedom that celebrates the truth of who you are. Hopefully. Right, and then the Divine Feminine, and I'll finish there, is number 11. I mentioned number 11 at the start of this thing. Divine Feminine is a fundamental form of abundance. The Divine Feminine is returning to all of us once more after thousands of years of dominance by the distorted masculine. She's characterised by qualities such as nurturing behaviour, patience, caring, acceptance, trust, going with the flow, harmony with natural cycles, sharing, communal cooperation, healing, a connection to nature, and a more circular, organic way of getting things done. There's the circle again, medicine wheel circle. Intuition, especially the decision to use and trust it more, is also extremely, and I said that at the start about divine masculines doing that more, is also extremely important to the feminine realm and feminine approach to life. These qualities are not always highly valued in our society. Whether you're male or female, you may have been brought up by learning to discard or distrust them. The feminine way of being patient and caring is not just about giving all the time and finish up exhausted yourself. Again, that's another lesson I've learned. That's when I said about it's been a huge, I feel it's a lifelong lesson for me actually, not to end up being that person, you know, where it's like I feel like like I've given more than I've gotten back kind of thing. So it's your responsibility to pay attention to that. And definitely with Twin Flames, the feminine gets to the point where it's like, right, I've given so much to this, whether it's just energetically and you haven't actually been in the physical partnership. Before you get to the physical partnership, you're knackered, there's no good sign. It's like, whatever your story is, it's like you just recognise wherever in life, whether it be with friends, family, like say in your work, that you're always just given so much, and it's like you just get exhausted and you want to pull it back to, do you know what, I actually want to get back as well. Like, I don't give to get, but at some point it would be nice to have that reciprocal, like somebody taking care of me kind of thing, you know what I mean? Right. Where did I get to there? It's about having faith in the fact that the universe can and will guide you if you allow it. The divine feminine is a vital force from which all other life emerges, and it works towards a win-win outcome in every situation for the good of all involved. All things creative, sensual, and nurturing belong in the feminine realm, so indulge that awareness of way of expressing your delight. Make a commitment to listen to, trust, and act upon your intuition more today and every day. And that's what this whole field, whoever connected with this, or the bits and bobs connected with it, it's about moving through the discomfort and the shadow work and the things that annoy you, anger you, upset you in life, the people, because people are always going to do these things to you guys. It's just, you know, it's not a newsflash. But it's about what you do with that. Do you become bitter, or do you become better? Oh, I love it. And like I said, in Divine Feminines, you know, it's, you know, personally speaking, each time someone fucks me over, is the only way to put it, it pushes me into this dark place at first, and then I come out of it, you know, forgiven. I come back to unconditional love. You know what I mean? That's the only way I can put it. Doesn't mean people don't fuck me off, but I always come back to that place. And I must stress healthy boundaries here with what I said about, you know, at the start about the boundaries. It doesn't mean that you still need to be around people that, yeah, that have contributed to make you feel like this. Do you know what I mean? So whatever just makes sense to people. Make a commitment. Yeah, I just read that bit. You've drawn this card today because your heart and intuition are calling out to you, urging you to trust your feminine energy more and more. So for divine feminine, self-explanatory, divine masculine is about trusting your feelings. And again, Cancer Sun, Scorpio Moon right now, as I'm channeling this, it has the, so it doesn't matter when you watch this, even if you watch this at Sag Moon, this has the energy of that deep feeling in it. And it's about trusting your feelings, this energy. Take a few minutes to complete the exercise below, reintegrating your divine feminine, and then take steps to acknowledge the power within you. Oh, fucking hell, we're not doing all that. Yeah, I'm not doing that because it's a big fucking thing. I've been standing here for ages. Right. I'm going to end it there, but I think this seems appropriate again. Don't let yesterday use up too much to today, and see how it fits with the things that and it's a Cherokee proverb, yeah, see how it fits with the things that I channeled. Interesting. Right, I'll need to watch this back and see what. Well, just, yeah, anyway, I'm just, whatever, I need to end it, I'm tired now, so, please like, comment, subscribe, share it with anyone else you feel it might be helpful to. If you'd like to book something like this for yourself, you can book an hour or a 90-minute pre-recorded video on the schedule. If I've never worked with you before, I'd probably like to just jump in a quick Zoom just to see who you are, basically. If you want me to work through something like this for you on a live Zoom, we can do that too. If you just say, oh, I like that one you done, can you do that live? Yeah, whatever. But have a lovely day, and I'll see you when I'm going to do the next one. See you later.